Hi. Happy Friday. What's happening in your world? It's Bondzee, Greg Bond, Bonzarelli, Bondo. Depends where I am at the time and what you want to call me. Gregory Scott, if you're my mother and you're angry at me, which is quite often. Well, not anymore. I shouldn't say that. Got that a lot when I was younger, though. Gregory Scott. Get the old fucking finger wagging, and then, or you get the slipper. Remember the slipper? Did you get the slipper across your backside? Your tuckus? I sure as hell did. Slipper, shoe, wooden spoon was a favorite. Belt if you really fucked up. Imagine these days walloping your kid with a belt. You fucking go to jail. It's crazy. It's crazy how far this world has changed, how much different it is, really, from the old days. I had strict English parents, dude. Did you get grounded for a whole entire summer once? No? I did. I did. You want to know what I did? Tell you after. It's Tripping with Bondzee on YouTube and the D Blood Dell Network. How the hell are you? We are live in California. It's Bondzee Live. Make sure to watch the show on YouTube. It's not a big deal. Just get off Facebook, for Christ's sakes. Zuckerberg does not need your love. He doesn't even like you, okay? I love you. I don't even like you. I love you. So just go off Facebook real quick right now. I'll even wait. Ready? Go. Oh, wait. You go. Hit subscribe. Tripping with Bondzee, YouTube. Pow. It's easy. My watch numbers go up. I start getting paid. And then I love you even more. All right. I'd like to welcome our new sponsor. Bondzee Live is brought to you tonight by Positive Mike's Brewing in Alberta, Canada. Guy's got some wonderful fine craft beers. If you are lucky enough to be in his region, go hit him up. Taste some of its fine wares, if you will. Also, I highly recommend you go to his website, Positive Mike's Brewing. .ca, I believe it is. And there you can get yourself a Positive Mike's Brewing t-shirt. Support Movember. $25. It's not a big deal. $25. $5 of that goes to the great cause that is Movember for prostate cancer. And then if he sells out, which I know they're super, super close to doing, if they sell out by tomorrow night, they'll donate an extra $50 to the great cause that is Movember for prostate cancer. It's a very important deal. Nobody wants prostate cancer. Like, you really don't. Just go get the finger up the bum from the doctor. It's real easy. Just say, Doc, getting a little worried. I'm getting older. Can you please check my prostate to make sure I'm all good and I'm going to be here a lot longer? I'm going to do it soon. As soon as I get back to Canada. Right up the bum. It's got to be safe. Better safe than sorry. So what? It's a digit up there. It just does a little feely. You're like, woo, oh, hi, Doc. Hey, you're good to go. Hopefully. And if not, at least they caught it early and you were so smart and you'll thank me. Go, fuck, I'm so glad I listened to Bondzee Live and he told me to go get a doctor's finger up my bum to make sure I don't have prostate cancer. So there you go. Thanks to Positive Mike's Brewing for jumping aboard. Love those guys. And also my fine friends at Shakespeare's Fine Dining. If you haven't been there, folks, you should do yourself a favor. Martin Short goes. All the celebrities go. Doug Gilmour's been there. So many others. The list goes on and on and on. They literally come from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and go to Hamilton, where it stinks. Not anymore. It's a lot better. Shouldn't say that. It's a nice, fine little town. Just maybe not right downtown. But just past that little horrid section of downtown Hamilton is a fine little restaurant called Shakespeare's Fine Dining. You should go. Leo and his sister Christina, her husband Pete, they will take the utmost care of you. I can't even tell you enough. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. The service there is impeccable. You won't have better service at a restaurant. That I can guarantee you. Hundo P. All right? Go check it out. Best surf and turf you'll ever have, and so much other great things on the menu as well. And you even get a nice shot after dinner on them. It's wonderful stuff. Wonderful. Shakespeare's Fine Dining, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Go check them out. I did. It's my last meal in Canada. And when I get back, I'm going for another one. Hi, Wade. Hi, Positive Mike. Thanks for tuning in to Bondzee Live on Tripping with Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. We're all over the place. We got an amazing, amazing guest tonight. Special guest, Canadian curling legend. He is one of a kind, man. 4 Briers, 4 world championships, 14 Ontario championships. He's a bit of a big deal in the curling world. His name's Glenn Howard. He's a friend of mine, and he'll be joining us in about 10 minutes or so. Can't wait for that. All right. I don't know what I did. Maybe that wall tennis got to me. I woke up yesterday morning and I had a sore foot. Could barely walk on the thing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I know I'm getting old and stuff, but listen, I stretch before every big wall tennis match. I stretch after. I'm still running and working out, and I'm stretching more now than I have in a long time. And all of a sudden, today was even worse. It ruined my sleep last night. And I don't know what I got going on, but I'll be damned unless it's falling off. I'm not going to the doctor. So we'll just have to hobble around here for now. See how it goes. See if it gets better. Put some ice on it. I've been taking the old, ibuprofen, if you will. And smoking a lot of weed. Love that stuff. Really do. What else? Oh, man. Hey, we'll see. I'm not drinking a whole lot. I like compared to the alcoholic that I was. I did get buggered on Sunday? No. Tuesday. Played 18 holes in the most craziest wind conditions I've ever played in my life. Then we proceeded to go to, he couldn't even play, like, we played 18, but we didn't keep, like, it was so, the wind was so buggered and so crazy that we kept score, but I don't think we really kept score. We proceeded to just get annihilated. And then we went to the casino where we proceeded to get annihilated. And listen, here's how drunk I was. I don't smoke cigars. I can't smoke cigars. Make me throw up. Guess I was drunk enough to smoke a cigar on Tuesday. We went to the lounge, and I don't really I know you don't inhale cigars and stuff, but I remember being in this lounge, and I, it's one thing I can't light it. So my boy lights it for me, passes it over, and I remember sitting there trying to be all cool. I don't even know how to hold a cigar or anything. I don't smoke, I barely smoke joints anymore. It's just either the old stizzy or pipe ski. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was weird smoking a cigar, and I don't even really know if I know I had it in my mouth and my lips. It was a really sweet cigar, tasting cigar. Anyways, I never threw up, so there was a positive. What else? Listen, I'll tell you what's not positive. I had some really terrible conversations with some friends this week, and terrible in the sense that both of these friends who are near and dear to my heart, very, very wonderful human beings. They know who they are. They both have a mutual friend that killed himself last weekend, hung himself in his garage. Kids, grandkids. He's 50 years old. Really nice guy from what I understand. I think we met in passing, but it was never had a friendly relationship with him. I didn't, but my friend sure did. Childhood pals. And they knew each other for a long time. And this one hurt the both of them. Hurt them a lot, actually. And they had no idea. They had no idea the guy was struggling mentally. Guy didn't leave a note. No explanation, no nothing. Poof, gone one day. From somebody who struggles from PTSD and depression heavily and anxiety, I have been to these dark places that you really don't want to go to. But thankfully, I've never been that dark where, I've had to hang myself, thank God. Or not a note, no explanation, nobody knew. He just kept hiding stuff and burying it. And it caught up to him. So I guess, folks, what I'm saying is two things. There's two parts to this. If you're somebody who's struggling, I know, believe me, Bondzee knows, it's hard to reach out. You feel almost like you're worthless, that you failed, that you're not good enough. It's embarrassing, even though it's not, or it shouldn't be. I've felt all those emotions that I just said, and I'm. It's easier for me to sit here and preach to you, and I'm not preaching. I'm just. My friends asked me to talk about this, and I do talk about it quite a bit. Mental health is so goddamn important these days, especially these days. We have endured almost 2 years of pure shit with this COVID stuff. And it's affected a lot of people in a lot of different ways. It's separated us. People have lost their jobs, their well-being, friends, family, loved ones, everything. It hasn't been a good time for so many people. And so many people have lost their lives yes to COVID and yes to suicide. And suicide is running rampant. It really is. And I can only say, I'll say this once more real quick, folks. If you're struggling, please, please, please just pick up the phone. Call your mom, call your dad, call your best friend, call a mediocre friend. Who cares? It's fucking anybody. Just say, yo, I'm not feeling so good. I'm not doing so good. And just have a chat. It helps. It does help. Please, I encourage you to reach out if you're struggling. Call me. And the best part about this show, over the almost 2 years that I've been doing it, I had about 5 people. 5 more than I ever thought I would get. I never did the show to start for people to reach out, but they really have. 5 people, and I've saved lives. Not physically, like CPR stuff, but talking to them, pulling them through their shit, being so honest about my shit. Nobody should see a kid get hit and killed by a train, and nobody should find him 200 yards away 10 minutes later. Fuck you up. But people have been through their own trauma and their own journeys that maybe not so good. Reach out. Please reach out. On the flip side of that, folks, if you're doing fine and you're all good, awesome. That really is awesome. Keep it up. Stay positive out there. But please reach out to friends, family, loved ones. Just call them. Like, so many times nowadays, it's almost like we almost take social media for granted. Like, we all follow each other, but we don't really reach out to each other so much, I find. You know? It's pretty awesome when I've been on the road here for 8 months now, and it gets lonely at times. I've been honest about this. I'm going through a funk right now where I'm pretty damn lonely. I got pals here and stuff, but it's not the same. Like, I work on this bus 24/7, 7 days a week, and frolic the odd time. And it's pretty lonely. And there's people out there that are struggling, and you wouldn't even know it. So just pick up the phone and say hello. Call them, FaceTime them, do what you got to do, because you never know. It's easier to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, man, how are you? Hope you're well. I'm doing good. Hope you are too. Better than going to their funeral a week later, isn't it? My 2 pals got to do that this week, and they're kicking themselves for not staying in touch more. So I encourage you all to, no matter what side of the fence you're on, if you're on that side, ask for help. Please go ask for help. Get help. If you're somebody who's doing great, just reach out to some friends, loved ones, family. It's easy. Doot. Hey, how you doing? FaceTime. It's easy as hell. Just do it. Okay. All right, folks. I did my due diligence there. Without further ado, my guest is here waiting in the background. I can't wait to talk to him. This guy, he's the real deal. Curler extraordinaire, 4-time Brier champion, 4-time world champion. 14 times he's won the Ontario Curling Championships. And he's a pretty damn good golfer, too. Folks, without further ado, I'd like to welcome my friend, my pal, Glenn Howard. How are you, buddy?
Good, Bondzee. Thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Not a bad introduction, eh? You're a bit of a big deal in the curling world, mister.
I have to admit, when you put it that way, it does bring shivers. It's pretty cool when you throw all those little tidbits out there. It kind of makes you feel pretty good.
Hell yeah, as it should. We're gonna get into all of this. I've got a nice agenda here, and we're gonna fly through your career and everything. So, it's funny though. It's been a long time since I've actually seen you. I believe it was at Midland Golf and Country Club. We played our last round together. God, I haven't hardly lived in Canada since 2016. So I'm gonna say it was 2015 would have been the last time I saw you.
That'd be about right. Right. That's a while ago, buddy. Time's flying, man.
It is just flying. I mean, you look back and it didn't seem like that long ago, but it really was. And so many things have happened since then. We used to golf together on a men's league team on Thursday nights at Midland Golf Country Club. That was always a fun time, wasn't it, Glenn?
It was. And it's still going. But they moved it to Brooklyn. We actually went to Brooklyn this year. So, wow. But it's still going. I played in that league for Bondzee 20-some years now, 2025, and a great bunch of guys, as you know, and super fun. Have a couple of pops afterward, a bite to eat, tell some lies, and it's a ball. It's a lot of fun.
So you're a really good golfer to boot. How is the game these days? You still playing as much as you want, or not as much as you want?
I've actually played more this year than ever. I retired from the beer store about 2.5 years ago.
Was one
Was
of my
able,
questions.
yeah. So that's done,
Congrats.
and thank you. And life is awesome. Retired life is incredible, Bondzee. It's unbelievable. I just can't believe how busy my wife and I are. We've got so much on the go. I've played more golf than I ever have. I probably played 50, 60 rounds this year, which I haven't done in 40 years. And the game's good up and down. I've had some really good rounds, really some really bad rounds, but that goes with the territory. But I still love it. It's kind of like curling. I'll
Yeah.
never give it up. I'll never give it. It's just too
Yeah.
much fun. Too much fun,
Good
buddy.
for you. Yeah, golf is one of those sports. It really loves nobody. One day you can go out and
That's right.
play a hell of a round and everything's kind of clicking, and then the next day you go out and not one goddamn thing works. It's
It
a
doesn't make
frustrating
sense.
game, isn't it?
But as you know, you hit one or two good shots and you think, oh, I've got it mastered, or I'm coming back. One of the two. So
That's right. That's
great
right.
game.
It's funny. I still have our red team shirt that I wear on the odd time golfing down here when I lucky enough to get out. Have you ever played golf down here? I'm in the Palm Springs area in
Never.
California.
I have never been. No, I've been to California once. Went a few years ago. It was kind of my bucket list for my retirement. We got to play Pebble.
Nice. Good
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
and California was just spectacular, as you know. It's just unbelievable. Played Pebble. We played Spyglass. We played, where else did we play? Another great course. I'm just trying to think, but never to Palm Springs. Never been able to
All
get
right.
down there. But that's a bucket list. So I got lots of time. Maybe I'll come
Yeah,
down.
you
Are you
sure
gonna
do.
be there? You're all over the country though. Like, come on, man.
Well, I was all over the country. I've kind of been settled here for, geez, it's been, I think we're going on 4 months now. I've been pretty
Okay.
settled here in the Palm Desert area. But I honestly, I'm waiting on the U.S. immigration to see if I can stay here longer legally.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I am still here legally, lest anybody think differently. Whilst the application is in the process, you are allowed to stay because my 6 months ended 2 months ago, believe it or not. So it does take some time for them to process this, but yeah, God knows where I'll be in even a month from now, because they could say, Bondzee, you got to go.
That's kind of exciting, though. Hey, living on the edge.
Yeah,
That's what
it's how I pretty much lived my life since about 2016. So yeah, it's fun times, but you definitely got to get down here, Glenn. You'll absolutely love it.
Heard nothing but the great things about it. I will. It's like I said, it's just part of my bucket list. I'm down there for sure.
Awesome. It's funny. I got his funny note here, and you'll get it. But it's funny how you're really good at two games that really are encouraged. You're encouraged to drink whilst playing, right. Curling and golf. Sorry.
What do you mean drinking? There's no drinking going on the golf course. There's no drinking curling. Come on, Bondzee.
No, not at all. I'm surprised you're not a pro dart player on the side too.
Oh, I like darts too. Yeah, 180.
Yeah, that's a perfect. Oh, blind, he's done it again. 180
with a pitcher of beer in the one hand and the dart in the other. Yeah, I love it.
We got to spike your little hair you have got left. You might even be looking like
I got a fro compared to you. Like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
we get it all colored up like that parrot-looking guy on the pro dart player, and you'd be good to go.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not sure, Glenn, if I've ever met a fella who likes curling more than you do.
No.
And I mean that. Did you start at a very young age? How did it all? Were your parents into it? Walk me through that.
Yeah, but Dad, both my parents curled. Dad was pretty fanatical about it, but he wasn't a competitive curler. He just loved curling, and he was a sports aficionado. Like there wasn't a sport he didn't love. He was very good at baseball, very good at hockey, very good at golf, and then decent at curling. And he just introduced both my brother and I, just the two of us, to mainly every sport going. But we both kind of flourished, or at least gravitated to golf and curling, and he just loved the fact that we enjoyed it. And he's a technician, and he loves he would teach us the proper delivery and then the proper grip in golf. He'd read books and say, boys, this is the proper way, by the book sort of thing, how to throw a curling rock, how to deliver a curling rock. And he was basically only both our only coach that we've ever had. And he just sort of introduced us that way. And then we kind of learned through osmosis more thing. You just sort of get out there and you watch other players, you watch other people, and you learn as you go. And but I give all my credit to my father to get both Russ and I into the game. And then, of course, Russ being 7 years older, I followed in his footsteps and really watched him a lot and learned from him. So that I was blessed to have that sort of mentor.
That's awesome. So over that time, from Dad teaching you the very technical side of things,
yeah,
did you always keep that as part of your game, Glenn, or did it sort of falter away and you just became comfortable once you learned the techniques of it and then you molded into your own sort of person in that way? Or did you always kind of have dad in the back of your mind go, the techniques and the very finite stuff of it? Is that what made you the incredible curler that you and your brother turned out to be?
First of all, great question. I've never had that question before, and I love that question because the answer that truthfully is no. I could go right back to what Dad said. And if you ever watch Russ and I deliver rock, we're identical. We're virtually identical. The way we slide, the way he and Dad taught us this big flat-footed delivery. Get the foot under your sternum. It'll always keep a solid delivery. It'll never let you down in a pressure situation. He had these ideas that we were going to do well. And he didn't push us, but he just introduced us and kind of was our biggest cheerleader. And but I go back to the basics. If I get off a little bit, I get back to the things that he taught me, and it still works today. It still works for today. And I think if you ask Russ, he'd say the same thing.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
That's incredible.
It really is.
Boy, you two both had an amazing career. So let's get into it. How old were you when you officially turned pro as a curler?
Well, I started curling about 9, 10 years old, and I was just old enough to throw a curling rock. Back in the day, they didn't have little rocks. We just had the big ones that we could lob down the sheet, and you had to be old enough, strong enough to get it there. But I would say I got when I joined Russ, so just right out of junior, would have been 19 years old, 18, 19, I guess 19 years old when I joined Russ, and we started to curl together, and that was my lifelong dream, just to curl with Big Brother and just to get to a Brier. That's really was my dream. And then I was blessed only a couple of years in that we played. We ended up getting to a Brier in 1986, and that was my first one. Lost the final, and then when you get that far, it's like, okay, I've just met my dream. Now the goal is to win it, and I got blessed. The next year we won it in 1987,
and then you did 1987,
and then it just sort of went from there. And then Bondzee, you can't get enough. You just winning is infectious, and it's so fun. Like, if anybody says winning isn't fun, I'm going to smack them upside the head. Like, it's just you can't get enough of it. It's like a drug, and you just want to keep winning and you want to keep playing. And I love that part of the game. I just love the camaraderie. I love the competition, but winning in itself is the pinnacle. It just gives you great fuzzy feeling.
Yeah, well, and listen, you must have really loved it because you won a lot, mister. And we're going to fly through your career here, if you don't mind. And
sure.
Because I'm fascinated, because as knowing you as a friend and playing many rounds of golf with you, I think for me, it was kind of a respect thing too, is, curling is your life and your work and stuff. And we never really did have a lot of curling conversations, if any, as a matter of fact. So, after all my research, and I've known what you've accomplished. I've watched you on TV for years, but when I actually did my research and read everything that you've done and been through, and dude, for the amount of times you've won, you've lost in the finals by a point so many times. So I'm gonna get to all this because I'm gonna break it down. So let's start with you win 87 and 93 Labatt Briers with your brother. Pretty special because a lot of brothers sisters don't get along, but it seemed like you and your brother had this real special relationship. Was there ever a time during your career where, like, you kind of hated him or he hated you and it was enough, or like you guys just, it never seemed to be like that with you two?
Well, we had our moments. Don't get me wrong. We're brothers. We had our moments, but I think the key was the fact that we're almost 7 years apart. So growing up, if I'm 17, he's 24, and do the math alone. So we never hung around together. We never hung around together at all. But again, it was my dream to play with him. And then I had a fairly decent junior career. And then he knew that I was a decent curler. And we talked about it. And I said, I'd love to play with you. And lo and behold, we did. And when I became third for him, I was concerned that, we wouldn't get along. But I just looked up to him as the greatest curler ever. So I just sort of sat back and watched him do his thing. I just tried to make shots. And don't get me wrong, we had our moments, but not very many. And we probably played close to 15 years together, and there was very few moments. And again, Bondzee, we did well. When you do well, if we'd have had a real slide and lost a whole whack of games, the two brotherly moments could have come out. But we were blessed with 15 really solid years, and that makes it easier. But again, we had our moments, but for the most part, no, we got along pretty well. We kind of knew how each other thought, and we were able to say what we felt to each other, which I think is a big thing when it comes to team dynamics and such. So I think it worked really well.
Was there ever a time where, or when you started, sorry, were you absolutely terrified playing your first few matches with your brother as a professional, or was it something that you'd already played so many times with him, with maybe with your parents, and just out, fun and practicing and mucking about? Was it terrifying, or did you just walk right into it and was like, I've played with him 100 times or a million times?
No, definitely nerve-wracking for sure. So I guess I joined him in about 1983, and he had won the provincial Ontario provincial in 1980. Went to the Brier in 1980. I went to watch as a 17-year-old just to watch him, and I'm in awe just watching him curl and all the great names he's curling against. And I'm going, oh my God, this is incredible. And that's when I realized, I got to get on his team. I got to play with him. Got to get to a Brier. And so when I first joined up, I'm thinking there's a lot of pressure. I'm playing third for him, and you can't shoot 60% and win. And I had two other great curlers with Kent Carstairs and Timmy Belcourt at the time, and Kent was with Russ when he went in 1980. So the pressure's on me, and I felt the pressure. So yeah, I was nervous as heck. But I knew that I could play. Just a matter of hopefully I could play good enough, and unfortunately I did play okay.
That's great. It sure is. Were your parents in the stands a lot watching you two play together over the? I bet it must have been special for them.
Never missed. I'll tell you, it's my only regret today is my father. My father passed away in 2002, so he missed my brother winning a gold medal in 2006, and then he missed me winning a couple world championships as a skip. So I think he was rooting for us. I think he actually did see us, but obviously, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So let's get into that. So you played with your brother for so long. You won the two Briers, 87 and 93, and you also won the world championships together in those same years. Isn't that funny that how that worked out?
Yeah.
And then you split up. Big Bro decides to go out to New Brunswick. What was the decision behind that?
Devastating for me. It was a work commitment. It had nothing to do with curling. Unfortunately, he had lost his job up here in Midland. He was a golf pro at Brookley. Lost his job there. Dabbled for another year. Didn't have a job, and then he went to a golf show and ran into a guy. I forget the fellow's name, but he owned a golf course down in New Brunswick called Royal Oaks, and he enticed Russ to go down as the golf pro. And Russ, he needed a job, had moved, basically packed up the family, and off he went. And I went, uh-oh. Back and then in those days, you move, you have to play out of your own province, so there was no possible way I could ever play with them, and that threw me for a loop, curling wise. I didn't know what to do, and I kind of floundered for a few years after that, and he picked up and went and did pretty good down in New Brunswick, but that was a tough time to say the least. I honestly felt I'd play a lifetime with him. Like that was just the way it was, but life gets in the way, and that happens.
Yeah, and it's funny how it did affect you.
Totally.
You had some success, and then you definitely had a fault after your brother left. But then, so what changed? Because all of a sudden, was it something you just got over with? Did you have a conversation with a professional, or you're even yourself in the mirror and say, "Listen, we got to snap out of this and start winning again. I like to win."
Totally. It's another great question. I put a lot of that answer to a fellow named Rich Hart. So Richie Hart played with me, played third for me for years. He approached me, I don't know what year it was, early 2000, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. Russ had gone for a few years, and he says, "Hey, Glenn, you ever thought of skipping?" And I said, well, I did it in junior, but I think third's my position. I go, why? He goes, well, I think you'd be a hell of a skip. And he says, I'm looking for a good skip. And I said, well, Richie, you're one of the best thirds on the planet. If you're interested, I give it a go. And I give him all the credit. He put the faith in me. We picked up Jason and Colin Mitchell to a great front end. We had a hell of a few years. We kept qualifying in Spiels and losing. And I personally couldn't get over that hump. I was close, but not there. The guys are playing great. And I didn't quite learn the position yet. And I wasn't sure whether that was it for me. But then he just kept pushed me. And I got better and better. And then I turned into a half decent skip. And then shortly after that, we made a change and picked up Brent Lang and Craig Saville. And then we went on a run for the ages. Like we
sure did.
Went to eight Briers in a row. It was just insane. Yeah. And I really got comfortable in the position, and I had one of the best teams we've ever played on it in my lifetime.
Must have been real fun on that run, eh?
So fun. Like again,
2006,
so fun.
It starts. You beat your former teammate Wayne Madaw in the final, and that's where it really kick-started for you.
Yeah.
So you secure your ticket for the 06 Brier, and then you literally go undefeated, and you lose in the finals to Quebec's Jean-Michel Menard by a point. It's one of those. There's so many of these that I'm going to talk about. So Was it like you did win the 2006 championship, gets you the Brier, you lose by a point? Was that devastating, or was it like, okay, man, I belong here. I know we got this.
A little both. Devastating because I just felt we played so well all week. I really felt we were the best team there, but you're not the best team until you win the final game. And personally, I didn't play very well in the final game. That really irritated me. But then I kind of look back in history and I realize, and it's maybe it's a cliche or maybe it's a stupid statement, but I lost my first Brier in '86, won the next one in '87. So I go, we go back. I get back in, I get back in this sort of scenario as a skip. We lose my first one as a skip. Who knows? Maybe something good will happen in 2007. And I tried to always look at the positive. Like, you can't do anything about it. And I hate losing. It takes me a while to get over it. I do eventually get over it, but I get more hungry. I want to get back on that podium. And then lo and behold, 07 was one of the greatest curling years that I've ever been involved with. It was insane with the boys.
It was a hell of a year for you. You literally dusted everybody that stood in your way in 07. You did it. All jokes aside. You went on to win the 07 Brier over Brad Gushu out of Newfoundland 10-6. And then you go on to win the 07 Ford World Championship, beating Germany's Andy Kapp 8-3. Like, these weren't even close matches. You were kicking everybody's ass.
It was so much fun. Like, the Gushu game was really close. The score, we got a big 3-ender in the ninth, so it was right down to last shot in the ninth sort of thing. But we had the feeling we were going to win, and it was just one of those years. And you got it. You can't win the final unless you get in the final. And I've lost a lot of Brier finals, and that's a tough pill to swallow. Thank God I've won a few, because that would be even harder to swallow.
Right. It's like the Buffalo Bills back in the day, 4 Super Bowls in a row and never won.
Horrible. And that's all they think about. God, they get to the 5th one and then what? Like,
right?
It's so hard. Yeah.
Oh, man. So the next year after the 07, you go to the Brier, you lost by a single point to Alberta's Brad Martin. Alberta's got some great curlers that come out of there. What a pain in the ass as they are, aren't they?
Alberta's had, I think over the years, Manitoba's probably won more Briers than anybody, but I feel like Alberta's they've had such quality teams every year, day in and day out. It's just, they just keep producing them. And that's a powerhouse province in our country. And they just, like I said, they just keep producing, and they're still producing them. Just an amazing province for curling.
Yeah, sure is. So 2009, another great year for you, but in a sense, maybe not so much. And I want to know about this. You become only the second curler to win the Grand Slam, skip. Sorry. So, and that's got to be a pretty special accomplishment for you, was it?
Well, totally, Bondzee, because the Grand Slams are way harder. In my estimation, the Grand Slams are harder to win than the Brier, because the competition is actually harder. You've got the best teams in the world at the Grand Slams. The Briers are strong, but they still aren't the best teams in the world. You don't have all the European teams and the other great teams that are involved. And these Grand Slams are so tough. You got the best of the best, and then to win them and win all of them, it's not hard, so it's very hard. And I'm very proud to be a part of some great teams that have been able to do that, and I feel pretty good about it.
So then the Brier comes along, the Old Nine Briar, and people were stoked for this in the curling world, because everybody wanted to see you and Brad Martin square off again. It didn't turn out that way for you, but it was some of the best curling that people had ever witnessed in that Brier championship that year. It was in Calgary, correct?
Yes, at the old Saddle Dome.
Do you remember because I know you've got a memory like an elephant. So is that shot still so vivid in your head? And the shot I speak of is one of the most. Is it in your mind, or personally for you, the best shot you've ever done, or was there something better after that?
There was probably I think there's a couple shots I think were actually better, but that one, what's so cool about that one is we didn't even know it was there. We before Joel Jordison throws his last shot, I can remember saying to Richie, and we hadn't played a great game. We're down 2 coming home. We got last rock. And I said to Rich, there's got to be something here. There's got to be something. And you look around the rocks, and then both Rich and I say at the same time, because we knew what Joel was throwing. He was guarding this one run in. And we both looked. I said, if we hit that rock there and it goes there, it might be there for 3. And the fact that you don't know is kind of cool. So you throw it to the best of your ability, and we had to hit our own rock, and I had to stick over on the side, and the one over here had to go around the horn, and we weren't sure. And the fact that it came off and did what we thought was going to happen, and then I think more importantly to win the game. So it gave us a 3 to win the game. And then we went to, I think, 6-0 at that point. And clearly we won a game we probably didn't deserve to win because we got outplayed. And I think just all because of all those different variables made it one of the coolest shots that I've ever played. And to win a game is the key one, right? You make some cool shots, but to win a game is like, wow, that's neat.
Hell yeah! Well, we've got a blast from the past for you. We've got it here for you. Let's have a watch. It's awesome.
Yeah, really hard. Yeah, just stick that and see what happens. In turn, or is out turn better to ricochet? Doesn't matter.
Final stone in the 10.
Yep.
Really hard. Run it back. Jumping across. Oh, goodness. Oh, my.
And that's for 3.
And the win to remain undefeated. Glenn Howard.
As long as you live, Vic, you'll never see a better shot than that.
What a shot, pal.
Still gives me chills. It's just so cool. And it's a team shot, right? Richie called it right. The boys swept it right. It was super cool. Yeah, it really is a lot of fun.
That's the greatest thing about curling is you've got to do your job, but man, oh man, it really depends on your boys sweeping.
Totally.
And knowing when your guy off. Hard is a big one, you know. Just it does. It gives me chills to watch that again. and the old TSN broadcast voices. It's everything about it's cool. Do you relive that shot a lot in your head, or is it just pops in once in a while?
Yeah, it pops in once in a while. Usually, I usually don't think about it until someone reminds me, or like yourself bringing it up, and I have no trouble watching it. I really, it's really cool.
I was worried for you there when you jumped in the air. I was like,
oh God, what's he doing? And you jump, you're so excited, you jump around like an idiot, and you're going and you're pumping your fist, but that's fun. That stuff's fun. And when I see other players make shots like that and they bounce around, I just think it's fantastic. They should. They just made a great shot. Enjoy it.
Emotion is a big part of sport. I always loved watching you do the fist pump.
Love that stuff.
The Tiger Woods kind of bottom fist pump and then come up. Yeah, it's part of the sport. And
I think so. With you,
when you hit amazing shots like that, it's like golfing. Like a shot just comes off pure. You get the old club twirl. And you watch 100%. It come in and you give it a little, all right, ski. It's just that small little.
It's true.
All right.
It's true.
And it doesn't matter if you're playing for money or playing for a trophy like the size of Timbuktu, like we just saw. Never gets boring hoisting those in the air, does it, Glenn?
No. That's another great picture. Obviously, that's from 2012 when we won our last World Championship. Wayner and Brent and Craig and. That's such a cool story too. Wayne and I won a couple world championships together, 93 and 2012. He went his separate ways in 94. I knocked heads with him so many years as skipping against him. He was one of my best friends. We curled together with our wives all through those years in Penetang. And then for him to come back and join the team, Richie packed it in. And I got him. I resurrected him in, and he said, "I'll give it a go." And that one, we joined up that year and won the world. Went right through, won the world championship. Incredible.
Yeah.
So it's just like we never lost a beat. It was cool.
Yeah, that is cool. 2009, you do the Olympic trials. After you'd won you qualified from the 2008 Tylenol Players Championship. Held in Newfoundland. That can't be a boring spot to play some curling, especially afterwards.
So fun. Newfoundland. If again, people or whoever's listening out there, you got to get yourself down to St. John's and go to George Street and enjoy the Newfoundland flavor. But the people are amazing. They're so knowledgeable about our sport. Obviously, they're pro Gushu fans as they should be, but they cheer for everybody. They just like to have a good time, and it's a great place to curl.
Yeah. Well, there's not a whole lot to do there other than fish, golf when you can. Curling is huge, and drink your face off.
That's right. Not necessarily in that order.
There. And that is a bucket list of mine.
Kiss the cod
Street, by the way.
Oh, it's so fun.
Gotta go. Okay, so 2010, you move on. You finished undefeated, 11-0 in leading up, but you lost in the final to another Albertan, Kevin Cooey.
Kevin Cooey, yeah, he was a one-man wrecking crew. I can remember that final like it was yesterday. I felt we controlled the whole game, but we were one down with coming home. We had a superb end going to get our deuce to win it. He made 2 unbelievable shots to basically force me to the draw for 1. Fine. So he's got the hammer in the extra end, and we're kind of biting the button, and I got another one on top of my own on the button, so he can't peel them out. So what's he do? Draws right to the very pin. So he's got to throw it within 2 or 3 inches from 140 feet with all the pressure on for a Canadian Championship, and he made it right out of his hand. It was just a great shot, and you got to give the guy, you bow to him, say, hey, Kevin, great shot. But again, it was another tough loss because we kind of, I wouldn't say we dominated, but we sure did really well leading up to that. And again, you're not the champion. You win all the games you want in the round robin and the playoffs. You got to win that final game, and unfortunately, we didn't that one either.
Yeah, it's like the Patriots going undefeated that year and then losing the Super Bowl, which nobody saw coming against the Giants.
And one game. It's one game.
Yeah, and that's the thing with curling. So do you let it bother you? Because you have lost so many, my friend, at the last second by a point or 2 and after going undefeated? Or do you look at it and go, yeah, man, we got there and we played amazing, but it's a one-off. It's not like you got 7 games where you can, you have a bad game and you can redeem yourself. But I know it still hurts. I guess what I'm asking is, did it get easier? Haven't happened to you so many times, plus you won so many championships?
It's interesting because when it comes to the Briers, I've actually been in 11 finals and lost 7. Wow. So only won 4. But yeah, I'm kind of proud of the fact that I was on some of the greatest teams ever and we got to 11 finals. Had we not won the 4, I'd be devastated. Like if we'd won 1, and then 4 is it's still not a great percentage, but we were in every game. We were right there. It just goes to show you the consistency of the teams I've been on. To get to 11 finals, I'm pretty proud of. I trying to keep looking at the glass as half full. We did win 4. We won, and then we went to 4 Worlds, won all 4 of those, which is pretty impressive to my mind.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So I look at the positive. I keep thinking, and we had some, second at the Olympic trials to go to Vancouver to lose to Kevin Martin. That was devastating. A lot of these Briers, you're going to get, you can't win them all. There's no question. Nobody just goes and wins every one they're in. And but I've been okay with going through them. I'm okay with losing that many. Just I think because I've won my share, that I can sleep at night, so to speak.
Yeah. So we're moving on here. 2011, and you'd mentioned this earlier, but you said it was devastating losing your brother to New Brunswick and not playing with him anymore. Then you lose Richard Hart, your third after such a long time together. Did that one hurt too?
Again, devastating. He called me up and told me, and I was semi-emotional. I just say, Richie, how could you? Are you kidding me? Like I still got so much left in me. Come on, buddy. And he was tired. He was tired. He'd had enough, and we'd had a couple of devastating losses as well. And he says, Glenn, I don't think I can give you 100% anymore. He says, it's not fair to you. And I said, you know what? And his knees were bugging him and everything, so he needed a break, and that was tough. Again, one of the greatest curlers that ever lived. He was such an awesome teammate and one of the best West throwers of a rock. He knew where that rock was going all the time, and it would hurt because we had such a great time and we had such a great chemistry, the 4 of us, and I struggled with that one, and then fortunately was able to pick up Wayner right away.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So who reached out to who, Glenn? Did Wayne reach out to you, or did you ask Wayne?
No, I reached out to Wayne. I just reached out to Wayne. I said, I talked to Brent and Craig, and I said, the perfect guy to fit this team would be Wayner if we can convince him to play third. And the guys agreed. It was a no-brainer, and then it didn't take long. Wayner didn't think too long. He says, "You know what? I'll give it a go." And the beauty of that guy is he knows how to play every position. Like, he's arguably one of the best skips that I've ever played the game, without a doubt. And yet he's willing to go down, call it a drop back, and play third for me. Sure. I think because we're good buddies, and he complimented me so well, and he knew how to push the buttons, and that was the key to, like, Rich Hart. He did the same thing. He knew how to get the best out of Glenn, and so Wayne, I got to give him so much credit to be able to do that. And he was my biggest biggest cheerleader, so he knew how to get the best out of me, and vice versa out of him. And he owned the position. Never played third in his life, actually.
Wow.
He played every position going up, but never played third. And to him to walk into that and take ownership and do what he had to do was amazing. And again, it just proof in the pudding. We just went on and won the whole shebang.
Yeah,
So
you
so
sure
cool.
did. You went on and won the 2012 World Championship with them. You defeated Scotland in the final. That was your 4th world title. That must have been pretty special for sure.
Oh, again, Wayner. It's funny. I've been to a lot of even when he wasn't with me, he'd if I happened to win a Brier, he'd give me a ring me up. He says, "Okay," he says, "You just won. He says you just won the hard one. Now you got to win the important one." And that was meaning the World Championship. He says, "You got to go on and finish this off. You're not done yet. You won the Brier, great. Now you got to go finish it off." And we've always looked at it that way. We got one more big step. You get to that Worlds. You never know if you're ever going to get back. And I've always done that with the Brier as well. And you got to leave it all out there and do your best. Unfortunately, we've left our best for the World Championships. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. In Basel, Switzerland, so cool.
That was awesome. Your memory and stuff is uncanny for this game. It's unbelievable how you can remember shots from like 2000. I'll just say it like, and you've done it all night. I'll remember. Oh, okay, this one 2000. You're like, oh yeah, I know that shot. I know. Is that something that is it in you just because like you live every moment of every shot? Do you literally remember every game you played in professionally?
Not anymore, Bondzee. I have to admit it's waning. There's no question about it. It's going. I do forget where I played. I remember shots and I remember games, but I forget where we were because I've had so many different venues. But it's starting to go. But there's a lot of things I still remember. I think it's because you're just so in the moment and you're so focused and you're so engaged in every game you play that you do sort of remember the shots. And I think that's been the beauty of the teams I've been on is we've been so into everything, and we've always been consistent teams. We've never been a real peak and valley teams that I've played on. We've always been pretty solid. Not the best team every week, but we're never the worst. And that's always been a good way to be consistent. A lot of this, never that, but a lot of this, and we stay pretty level, and that wins you a lot of curling games. And if you're focused and engaged all the time, you're going to remember shots and you're going to play well.
It sure does. So 2014 in the Ontario Provincials, you lost to Greg Paulston in the final. That was before losing to him. You'd won 8 straight in a row. That's a pretty awesome accomplishment in itself, too.
Again, if you'd have told me I'd win 2 or 3 in a row ever, I'd say you're full of it. Like it's just so hard. It's just and Ontario is strong. Like and it because we went 8 times. Said, oh, it's just Ontario. Well, we're playing some great curling teams all these years, and we won them on last shot. We won with so many on the last shot or here and there, and it was so close. And to win 8 and almost won 9 in a row, but we didn't. And it's proud of again the teams that I've been on. Could not have done it without the amazing curlers and teammates that I've been blessed with over the years.
For sure. Was it fun playing against your brother? Because ultimately you guys did play a lot. He was curling for New Brunswick. You're curling for Ontario. Was that weird? Was that like
not really? To be honest with you, we kind of faked how fun it was, but I didn't enjoy it.
No,
mainly because I looked up to him as the greatest curler ever. I thought I'd out-curled my life with him. I still think he's one of the greatest ever. And somebody had to win, somebody to lose. So one of the two of us were going to be happy and disappointed. Right. And it was tough. I did not look forward to it. We ended up winning that game, and I didn't love winning that game. It just didn't give me that much enjoyment as opposed to beating any other team out there. I just wanted to get that game over with, to be honest with you. And it wasn't fun. And I put my dad wasn't alive at the time, but my mom's sitting at home and she's, how hard is that on her?
Yeah.
Watching the two boys and, one's going to be happy, one's going to be sad. So to answer, honestly, I didn't really enjoy the game. No.
That's so cool for you to be so honest and open about that, because it's something I've never really thought about before until I asked you that question. And I'm not going to say you had a hard time answering it. You didn't, but I could tell how just the words that you spoke and your poor mom sitting at home, like who is she supposed to cheer for? Like it's going to end. Yeah. It's just nobody wins it. But do you ever sit around at Christmas a year or two later and go, yeah, I kicked your ass?
Honestly, I haven't. No, that's true. He might have done that to me, being the older brother. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
right.
I was never one for needling him and that sort of thing. But
I guess I am the older brother, so maybe it would have been and he would have just been ribbing you too. It's not like
would have been all over that one for sure.
Yeah. That's okay. Awesome.
That's okay.
So you've accomplished so much in curling, Glenn. But the Olympics. You never got to play in one, correct?
Never played in one. No.
Is that fucking bug you? to hurt a little bit?
It
Sorry.
does. Like, no, 100%.
My mom be yelling at me, right?
Yeah, no, sure it does. I think that's the epitome of sport. The Olympics
Yeah.
is, because it comes every 4 years. I can't get enough of watching the Olympics summer and winter. I just the TV's on 24/7. I love it. I just can't get enough of it. Are you kidding me? I would love to have played in Olympics. And that's the only thing in my estimation that's missing on my resume. It's probably never going to happen. We just missed out this year to go as a player, but I was able to go as a coach. Thank you. But I was able to go as a coach with Great Britain and Team Muirhead. That was I got my experience as a coach inside the ropes, so to speak. That was awesome, and I realized that just gives you more of a realization what you're missing. Oh my God, this is
that must have been pretty bittersweet, eh? You're like,
totally.
Fuck, I made it to the Olympics as a coach, which is no small feat in itself, Glenn.
It's not the same.
Let's not kid a kidder.
It's not the same. No.
I understand that. I'm sure you would have been itching it. Would have rather been out there. How did that all come about for you to coach Great Britain?
Well, Eve Muirhead, I knew her quite well just through the curling world, and I knew her. I knew her father, played against her father for years, and her brothers. And she actually reached out to me. I guess it would have been just prior to that. I guess it was the 18 Olympics. Yeah, 2018 Olympics. She reached out to me in like 16 and said, "We're looking for a coach, and we think you could bring us over the top." So I talked to the powers to be in Sport Scotland, and they hired me, and I ended up working with Team Muirhead, and they ended up getting chosen or winning the chance to go to the Olympics, and I was with them all the way, and we came within a whisker of a bronze medal, which I know Evie's upset about. She had it in her hand, but she came close, and that was a tough loss. As a coach, the girls are pretty upset. They didn't win a medal. They had it in their hand. And that was a tough one. But I loved the 3 years with the girls. Was just fantastic. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about coaching. I got to experience at Olympics. I'm indebted to them for that experience, and I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah. So you're not part of that anymore.
Not part of that. So what happened is the Sport Scotland decided that they felt that all the coaching should be in-house, not so much in-house, but at least the coach should be with them 24/7 and have somebody live in Scotland with the girls and with the guys teams as well. And I just wasn't willing to do that. I wasn't at a point in my career that I could move to Scotland. So I had to give that up. But, and I get it. They want their coach there because they're on the ice pretty much 24/7 for 11 months. And that's the way curling's going now. And it's a job. It's a business, a job. And unfortunately, I couldn't continue. But maybe somewhere down the line, I'll be able to coach again and do something like that. But it was fun and a great experience. Again, going to Olympics was incredible. Would love to go as a player, though. The player, that would be the epitome.
Yeah, for sure. So I read recently that you're joining Team Epping as their fifth for the upcoming Canadian Olympics. Is that what just happened in Calgary, Glenn? Is that where we were at?
Yes. So no, Calgary was what they call the Grand Slam. So that was one of our big events, and I was playing with my own team. The week previous to that, we were down in Liverpool, Nova Scotia, for what they call the pre-trials, and there were 14 teams, and two teams come out of that to go to the trials, which is a week from now. We lost another final. We lost the final game with ours. I know we went 7-2, got to the final game, lost to Tanner Horgan, an Ontario team as well. They played awesome. We played average. We lost that, and so they're going to the pre-trials. So we're out. We go the next week to Chestermere, Alberta, to play in this Grand Slam. And a good buddy of mine, Brent Lang, who's on that Team Epping, he reached out to me, says, "Hey, Glenn, I'd like to talk to you when you get to Chestermere." Blah blah blah. Long story short, the team have asked me to go as the fifth man, as like the alternate, and to the trials with Team Epping. They're hoping that my experience can help them out, another set of eyes. Maybe I can get them over a little bit of a fire, a little bit of an edge that can get them over the top, and maybe win the trials and go to the Olympics. So there's another chance. So I jumped at that. I thought it was a real honor and a privilege for them to ask me to and of course, so they were apologetic that we didn't win and they were pulling for us, sort of thing. But because I didn't, I was available, and they asked me, so I jumped on board, and we're working hard in the last week leading up to the trials next week.
That's cool. Well, I wish you all the success in that. I hope it works out for you. Listen, you've been so awesome with your time in that. I got a couple more quick questions before I let you go. you actually got to curl with your son for a while. He's a big curler. Both your son and daughter are.
Yep.
That must have been a pretty cool experience. Yeah.
Well, that's it, Bondzee. So Scotty, I picked up Scotty about 5 years ago, and he started to play lead for me. And then we made a switch, and like Richie was playing, and he kind of packed it in. He came back for a bit, and then Scott said to me, he says, Dad, I'd like to play third for you, and I kind of know what he meant. It was kind of like how I felt. I wanted to play third for my brother, and so Scotty jumped on board with me, and we're still together. We're still playing together. We still have had a ball. We've had a amazing bunch of years. We've made the provincials. We went to Brier last year. Unfortunately, I had a serious snowmobile accident, so I couldn't play. But we've still got a sniff at going this year. We've had one of the best years ever this year already. We've played a ton of games, won a bunch. Still playing with me, and to be honest with you, Bondzee, that's one of the big reasons I'm still playing. I've got my kid playing with me at the highest level in a sport that I love. I can't get enough of it. I have so much fun with them, and it just keeps lighting a fire under my butt. I'm the old guy out there by something like 14 years, but I'm having a great time. There's nobody at the top level in their 50s. At the top, 20 teams in the world, and I'm 59, so I'm hanging in there. And
Good
again,
for
Scotty,
you,
thank
Are
you.
you surprised by that, Glenn?
Yes,
that there's
yes.
not older people, because it is, it's a sport that doesn't take. No offense. You do have to be in shape and stuff, but you know what I'm getting at. It is a sport that older fellas can play, and women. But like, it's a very technical sport. Great picture. So I am surprised. I'm not surprised you're still playing at the level you are, but I am surprised there isn't more fellas your age still playing the game, which is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I can think of a handful that I'm surprised are not playing. Like a guy like a Jeff Stoughton. The guy was one of the best curlers ever on the planet, and he's still in amazing shape. He could go out and play as well as me without a doubt right now. The only thing I can think of is if they lost the fire. Lost the fire, maybe lost the desire.
It happens.
100%, because it's grueling. You're on the road a lot. You're away from family. You have to juggle work. You got to juggle family. My family have given up a lot. We did virtually no family holidays when I was curling, because all my holiday time went to curling. So the best way is to have your kid join you, right? and then Carly, my daughter, same thing. My daughter, and that's such a cool pick. Like that's awesome. And Scott's right there with me, and my daughter, she loves the game, and we eat, drink, and sleep curling, and that's probably 07, I would think. And it's super cool. And my wife obviously is my biggest fan as well. Jude's been through it all for 33 years.
Does she curl at all, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we curl Tuesday nights. We curl Tuesday nights up here in a major league. So she's and now we're both retired. We're able to do a little bit more traveling now, and she's gonna. So we kind of can do both. But the curling has just been such a huge part of our family, and wouldn't be the same.
It's pretty cool how it's come full circle, Glenn. I know your dad didn't curl professionally, but he certainly was instrumental in getting you and your brother to the level you were. And then you play with your brother, who is 7 years older than you, and that's a big deal. I have a younger brother who's 7 years older, and I remember how much he looked up to me, and I was God to him as the older brother. So you get to go play with your brother. And then all these years later, your son gets to come and play with dad as the third. So it is pretty wild how it has come full circle.
It is. And actually, that last picture, I don't know whether you noticed, but the kid in the background is my nephew. That's Russ's son, Steven.
Okay.
So Steven was living in New Brunswick. He played with Russ when I played against them in 2009. So that was special too. Stevie's I love the kid. He's a peach of a kid, and he's now 37 years old. But it was pretty cool to play against Stevie and Russ. And like I said, I just wanted that game over with. But there you go, full circle. Both Russ's kids, Steven is 37, Ashley's 32, I think now. And she runs Saskatchewan curling. She's the GM of Saskatchewan curling. So the curling is that Stevie still curls. It just does. It's in the blood. I don't know how long we're all going to keep plugging away with this game. We love it so much.
Good for you, pal. So much travel. I mean, this game did bless you with one thing. You got to travel everywhere, in Canada and the world. Real quick, favorite Canadian spot to curl, and I hate to put you on the spot. And then What's the favorite outside of Canada spot? Is there somewhere in Russia that you played, or is it Great Britain or Ireland? I'd love to know where the best party spots are.
Probably the most fun place in Canada to curl was St. John's, Newfoundland. Again, I go back to George Street. We
Sure.
had so much fun down there. And the most enjoyable play. I love Scotland. I had a big part of. I just love Scotland as a country. I was blessed to go there. I think my first time ever I was a junior. We won a junior Bonspiel in Toronto, and the first prize was a week trip to Scotland in 1980. And we went over there, got billeted, and I went all over areas of Scotland. We went to a whole bunch of different curling clubs, met a whole bunch of people. I still have friends today that I'm with from that 1980 trip. And I think there's just so many little curling clubs and nooks and crannies, and 2-sheeters and 3-sheeters, and just so much fun. I just love that country. So that's probably my most favorite place to play outside of Canada.
Awesome. How much time we got left in your playing years? Are we winding this down, or do you still got some fire and a few more years, or where are we
Well,
at?
it's funny. I obviously get that question a lot, and everybody looks at the quadrennial, right? It's the 4-year leading up to Olympics, and this is an Olympic year, and this is the end of the last cycle. Then there'll be another one. And I don't look at it that way. I just look at it about how much fun I'm having, and if I get to the point where I'm not having as much fun, or my body tells me otherwise, then it's time to pack it in. And I told my guys already, we've talked about it briefly. I said, the way I've curled really well this year personally. I've really lit it up, and that kind of excites me again. And I said, oh man,
Yeah.
that's kind of right. And I see myself right now probably playing next year, but it would be a 1-year contract, so to speak. I think I'll play it by year, and there'll come a time, and it's not going to be very far from now that I'm going to have to pack it in. My knees are pretty banged up, and I am getting tired. So, but I'm still having a ball. I still have no trouble jumping in that car, driving wherever we're going, jumping on an airplane, and going curling. So. I 1 year at a time, but I probably going to play next year, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hell yeah. Well, look, pal, you've been so gracious with your time. I've been looking forward to this ever since you agreed to do it. And I reached out on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh yeah, Bondzee, let's do this. And people have been excited too, because you are so humble, mister. But you are a big fucking deal in the curling world. There's no question about it.
I appreciate the comments.
The stuff that you pulled off has been amazing. The amount of times that not only you won, but how you lost in amazing fashion, and so cool and humble about it too. I know it hurts, but listen, the amount of trophies you've hoisted as well has been pretty amazing. So you should be really proud of your career. I know we all are. One of the best of all time, buddy, and that's got to feel pretty awesome at the end of the day.
I appreciate the comments. It's guys like yourself that makes me. There you go.
Oh, look at those two handsome fellas.
Look at that. Oh. It's those comments are awesome. I really appreciate that, buddy, and great to see you. And you're doing a great job on tripping with Bondzee. I think you're doing a fantastic. Keep up the great work, and make sure you get your butt back here to Midland Penetanguishene. We'll have to bang the golf ball around sometime. You want to do that?
Hell yeah. I appreciate all your kind words coming from a legend like yourself. I will definitely hook up with you. Hopefully next summer I'll be back. I know I'll be back at some point for sure. Beautiful. So I look forward to playing around to that crazy white ball game that we hit that little white ball around into a hole. And you're pretty damn good at that too, pal. Listen, thanks again. It's a real pleasure. I have never had such an athlete who's won accolades, I guess, who's won so many accolades. It's pretty cool that I can call you a friend and a golf pal too.
Without a doubt, my friend. Absolutely.
Thanks again for your time,
buddy. Cheers.
Yeah, you take care,
Glenn. Right on.
Thanks. You too. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Folks, are you kidding me right now? I almost got tongue-tied at the end there because I didn't want it dead. I didn't want Glenn to go. No, what a great dude. Holy shit. I don't know if you're a big curling fan or not, but that guy can curl. Not only that, super cool dude. Like, chill as can be. Humble as can be. Guy's been a big deal for a long, long time. And somebody mentioned in the comments, is that the guy that works at the beer store in Midland? Yeah. Motherfucker is decorated. Won major Briers world championships and stuff. Still worked at the beer store part-time when he wasn't curling. There it is. Josh Bond. Nice last name, mister. Hey, is this the curling guy that worked at the beer store? Yep. and he was proud of it. And it was cool because I'd go in there and grab Scoosters back in the day when I was drinking, and I worked at Midland. And so it was the beer store was right there around the corner from a business I owned. And so I'd see Glenn all the time at the beer store. Oh, I'll see you Thursday at the golf league, right? Oh yeah, yeah. And everybody knew him. It was the greatest job for him actually, because curling, everybody's a piss tank. Midland, everybody's a piss tank. But the people loved him. All jokes aside, I've never ever met a person that had a bad word or disrespected Glenn Howard. Real pleasure. Look at that. Just the good old, yeah. Hey, good old, yeah. What a good guy. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview as much as I did. It's been a hot minute. I haven't spoken to him in 6 years. 6 years, not a word. Different lives. He's still a big deal. I'm not. I was traveling the world as a drunk hooligan. He was traveling the world as a professional curler, kicking some ass and taking names. It's a big difference there. Anyways, what a fantastic guy. I love it. And that's it. That's all I got. I'm wrapping this up. I had some other stuff I wanted to tee off. And we're not going to show the video or anything. I will save it for Monday. It's still not going to be like, because I'm not letting this go. So I don't know if you folks heard about this, but in Kitchener, Ontario, right outside of my birth town of Hamilton, this restaurant bar disallowed or tried to disallow this poor fellow with his service dog entry into this bar. He was inside, and they manhandled this poor kid. Like I don't know his age, but he can't be more than 25. Skinny little fella, scared shitless. That's why he's got a service dog. He's fucked up. You know, not everybody that has a service dog is fucked up, but this guy has emotional issues. He doesn't do good in public, and you could tell by the video. I wish I had more time. I really do. We'll play it. We'll play it on Monday. I'm not letting this go. I called this restaurant 4 times today. Tried to sewer them. I was going to be like, hey, I'm on board. Yeah, how dare that guy? I wanted to lure them in is what I wanted to do. Okay. And get them on my show. The owners, because I think they're fucking tough guys. Fucking throwing this guy on the ground. One guy's going, I wish I should kick you right in the head right now. Kick your head in. Really, pal? You're fucking lucky that wasn't me at your goddamn shitty bar and restaurant. Motherfucker. Is it ready to go? Let's play it. I'm into it now. Let's go. Why not?
Leave the dog and stay in here. He asked you to leave 100 times, buddy.
I didn't do
You're trespassing. Jesus Christ.
I didn't do anything wrong.
A video recorded by customers at Milton's Bar and Grill in Kitchener shows 2 men, said to be the restaurant's owners, grabbing the arms of a younger man. The man yells that he's done nothing wrong and that he has a license for his service dog.
The owners, they had grabbed him first by the jacket here and like just ripped his jacket. But he was saying the entire time that I didn't know who you guys were.
Alex Roy was at the restaurant at the time with his brother Jeff and Jeff's girlfriend. First they heard shouting. Then their waitress told them the owners were threatening to throw the man out because of his service dog. That's when Alex, who's in the white t-shirt, jumps in to break up the fight, while his brother started recording on his phone.
And so I ran over there, I got in the middle, I tried breaking it up. I did for a second there. But even throughout that, I could always hear him just say like I don't know who you guys are, like here's my papers. He was clearly upset. Obviously, the situation escalated so quickly.
Later in the 4-minute-long video, the man falls to the ground and the employees grab his feet. Alex then called the police, who now say they're investigating the incident. Milton's restaurant is still open today, and there are around a dozen people inside around lunchtime. The owners have said they're not available to comment, and they have also turned off all the phones. The Facebook video has nearly 150,000 views and thousands of comments. And many members of the community are outraged, including 2 people protesting outside of the restaurant this afternoon.
It just could have been handled so many different ways. I understand people are very uptight right now. People aren't thinking straight maybe, but It's not an excuse to put your hands on somebody when they weren't putting their hands on you, you know? Call the cops.
I'm hoping that the young man who this happened to knows that he has lots of support.
We reached out to the man and his family and have not yet received a response. Emily Taylor, CHCH News, Kitchener.
Fucking disgusting. I called those bastards 4 times today. No answer. Shocking. Mailbox is full. Shocking. The fact that 12 people were there today, I'd like to go in there and fight all 12 of them and ask them what their fucking problem is. There's plenty of other establishments that you can go to and have some fine food and some beverages, if that's what you're looking for. Then going to that piece of shit, Milton's. Motherfucker's lucky that wasn't me, because I had to put up a fight. Oh, you're going to kick me in the head, bud? Let's bring it. I would have chucked down till the cows come home. I got a service dog. That fucking video hits pretty hard to home. Listening to that poor kid scream. Yeah, he has documented proper papers. Shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. These guys are fucking bullies. And if you ever go in that restaurant and you're a friend of mine, but just delete me now because I'll fight you. I'm not done with this. I'm not. I'm going to keep calling them. I tried to get the kid on the show. I tried this afternoon to get a hold of him. I reached out to some contacts. He's embarrassed by it. It was traumatizing to him. I understand why, and I'm not saying I won't get him on, but I'm trying. At this point, it was pretty limited today with the time and everything, but the kid's traumatized, and I don't blame him. What I just witnessed was complete and utter bullshit. And I'm angry, and I'm not going to let this one go. It's too close to home. Twice on this trip down in the United States of America, I've been accosted or treated differently because I have a service dog. Once, wasn't allowed in an Uber. Walked up, was literally this far from the door. Go to open it. Guy's like, oh, motherfucker's got a dog. Click, locked the doors on me. I said, sir, here's the card. I have the proper documentation. So it's probably fake. I said, I beg your pardon. Get out of this fucking car right now. I'll show you fake. Motherfucker drove off. True story. I sent that to the highest things in Uber. He got his pee-pee slapped. Still allowed to drive. Got in trouble. Not a big deal. They promised me it won't happen again, and it hasn't. Second incident, 2 weeks ago. Restaurant. Already been there with Tucker. Not a problem. Nobody bothered us. This night we walk in. Guy comes over all aggressive like, you can't be in here. Get that dog out of here now. I said, I beg your pardon, sir. He's his fucking vest on. He's sitting here chilling. He's the most chill dog in the world. He's trained for this shit. You're telling me I got to leave? Not a fucking chance, bro. Drag me out. I dare you to drag me out like those fuckers tried to do. I dare you. He damn near tried. He was getting pretty aggressive. My buddy is 6'3", 6'4". He's like, you better back off, mister. I'm not the toughest or the biggest fella, but when you piss me off, motherfucker, I wouldn't want to fight me. I wouldn't. Especially when it comes to my dog, family, my sons. That video's disturbing. That video's bullshit. I know we're going through shit, folks. I'd rather watch the videos of the people beating the shit out of each other at these sporting events. That seems to be the new norm. Seeing that? No, and I'm not condoning that either. That really bugs me, and I have a problem with that shit too. Seems to be the new norm and fun. But when you're going to tell me that I can't be there with my boy right there, who wouldn't harm a soul, has never bitten anybody, doesn't have a bad bone in his body, and has his proper vest on and has been trained and has proper documentation, you're going to tell me I can't come in with him? We're going to have a problem. And we did. And I said, hey, buddy's like, I'm going to call the police. I said, actually, give me your phone. I'll call the police. I'd love to have a chat with him. Tell him what an asshole you are for not letting me in your restaurant. That he left pretty quickly, and he felt pretty embarrassed. So we all tore a strip off him. So did the other people at the bar that we were sitting around. 3, 4, I think it was 3 or 4 lovely ladies stuck up for me and said, yo, Bo, piss off. Anyways, I'm not letting this go. Milton's, you're going down. I can't believe you're still open. If you go in there and you live in the, what's it, Kitchener? What's all around there? Guelph, all that shit. If you go to Milton's, you're a fucking asshole. And I don't like you. Don't go there. Don't go there. I'm coming for you, Milton's. I'm coming for you. Hopefully that guy is too. Because you wronged him. You really did. And I'm pissed. And I'm not going to let you get away with it. I don't have a huge clout, but I've got some. And I'm going to use it all to make sure your business is ruined. I will be blogging about this for the next 5 days in a row at least until something's done. I will be reaching out to my friends in the Kitchener media that I have. I will be reaching out to the people in the Hamilton media that I have. We're going to close your restaurant down. You fucks. Sorry. That's it. That's all. It's Bondzee Live on Tripping with Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. I've had enough. Kind of a weird way to end the show after such a great interview, but I tried to save it, but I just couldn't. It's too close to home. And anyways, so many people with the great comments. Carrie Lapudlia, so proud to be your friend. I'm really proud to be your friend too. I love you, babes. You're the best. Such a wonderful human being from a childhood friend. And listen, that is horseshit. Positive Mike says WTF. What the fuck? That's what it means, Mom, in case you were wondering. It's a disgusting video, and it's disgusting what happened. Shouldn't happen anymore. Guy was the least amount of threat in the entire world. And you see his poor little doggy? Can't remember the name of it. Not a Yorkie. It had that long hair thing. My cousin had one. It slips my mind. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That shit shouldn't have happened. And I'm disgusted. Disgusted about that video. Milton's, you're going down. Folks, have a great weekend. Be safe out there. It's a tough, crazy world we're living in right now. If you go to a sporting event, bring your boxing gloves. Don't wear a hoodie. My number one advice, if I'm not the collie, thank you very much. Positive Mike's Brewery. What a champion. It was a wonderful looking collie. Chill as fuck. They were harming nobody. I know I'm trying to say goodbye here, but yet, it's just, it's mind numbing. It's mind numbing. Go Leafs go. I don't know if they won tonight. Fucking internet here sucks, so I can't stream the game whilst being live. But I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and you, and you, and you too. What a week. Dean Blundell, there he is. Catch my blogs on there. I just dropped the Theo Fleury podcast version yesterday on the Dean Blundell Network. You can go check it out there. You can also go check it out on all the streaming services. We'll be dropping an episode a day for the next week because I've got so many interviews backed up. The next one is John Angus from The Truth. You guys will love this. If you missed the live interview I did with him, the audio version is tight too. All right. That's it. That's all. Oh, and the Theo Fleury one. Yeah, it just dropped. It's awesome. You got to go check it out. That guy is... it's pretty cool. 0-0 Canada versus Oh yeah, big soccer game tonight. Damn, is that Positive Mike? Is that going on right now still, or is that 0-0 final? Oilers lost, Leafs won. That's music to my ears. It's my sponsor guy right there. He's watching. Gotta make sure I do a good job at the end here. Okay, ready? Let's buckle up. All right. Positive Mike's Brewing show is brought to you by that guy. That guy's Fine Brewing. He makes some sick beers, folks, and you should be lucky enough to have some of that in your delicious palate. If you're in the Edmonton area or somewhere around in that Alberta area, I'm sure you can get it. But I highly recommend you go to their website and hook up, get some, buy some, own some Positive Mike's Brewing merchandise. Shit's tight. Look at that. Look at that. I want that shirt. I got I'm stumbling here because I'm trying to do this properly. I have my own special shirt coming. It's not here. Wait, it's at my son's in LA. I'm 2 hours away. I'm going to see him. I was already supposed to be there, but don't get me started on that. I'm trying to get out of here. I will have their shirt rocking soon. Anyways, you guys should own one of those shirts. $5 goes to the Movember cause.
One.
This bozo right here wears one. He has one.
Oh yeah.
Wears
Love
it
you,
loud
Mike.
and proud. Look at this guy. I'm
Okay.
proud of you, buddy. Listen, and all jokes aside, I pick on you. I bug you. I make fun of you because it's what we do as hosts. And then you're the producer guy. I've done it with everyone. I do it with my son when he produces. But you are a cool shit, dude, and you do a great job back there. And for the amount I pay you, you do a pretty good job.
I think is that the box of goldfish crackers that just showed up here?
Courtesy of Bondzee Live. You're welcome. Tripping with Bondzee Goldfish. It's on me, bud. It's on me.
After you say goodbye, I'm going to end the show on a good note. So
yeah, folks.
Rock on. Happy Friday. Cheerio.
This will be. He's a treat. He surprised me with the ending the other night with the poppies and stuff. I thought that was a real great touch. Listen, he's a great dude. You should go follow him on all the social media. It's Glassy, at Glassy, and he's a fun, cool dude.
At Sean GL.
At Sean GL, Glassy, same thing. Stop yelling at me. Not even my real dad or brother or anything. Kid. And I could smash him when he does that. But I get to do it to him too sometimes. So it's pretty good. All right, that's it. That's all. It's Bondzee Live at Tripping with Bondzee on YouTube and the Deep Blood Dull Network. It's Friday. You go have yourself a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Be cool. Love one another. And like I said, please pick up the phone and call somebody. If you haven't talked to him in a year, who cares? Pick up the fucking phone and call him. Hey, man, we're pals. We're still pals. Doesn't matter how long it's been. 5 years, 6 years, 1 year, 4 months. Call them. FaceTime them. Ask how they're doing, please. If you're in need of help, call me. If you're struggling, call me. I'll talk to you. I'll help you. I'll give you any advice I can give you. So many people have already, and I'm thankful for that. Love yourself. Love one another. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.